Welcome back, gamers, to Top 10 Gaming. I'm your host, Johnny Rogers, and if you happen to be new here, we put out daily content on all things gaming related, so if you're down with that, then tap the subscribe button to see more. Plus, leave us a comment down below with who your favorite Twitch streamer is, and while you ponder that, let's jump right into today's solo Twitch creepypasta you've never heard of called The Twitch Stream. The following scary story is based on the creepypasta The Twitch Stream, written by Connor Phillips, and was actually featured on the official Creepypasta YouTube page. Our protagonist in this story is a big-time streamer on Twitch. He consistently would get over 20,000 viewers every time that he went live. He loved what he did for a living, that is, until one horrific event that changed his life forever. Upon starting his stream, he did his usual of greeting the growing chat and making the big announcement for that day's stream that he was going to not only play whatever they wanted, but that a select few would get to join in on the fun. It was the 6th anniversary of his stream, and he wanted to do something to thank his community of loyal subscribers. First, he played some Overwatch with one fan, then Dead by Daylight with a girl who had just finished high school, but by that point the viewers had risen to 50,000 and may have grown even more if the following never happened. The stream took a terrifying turn when he chose a 7-year-old boy named Tanner to pick the game that they would be playing next. Being that he was clearly under the age of 10 just by the sound of his voice, the viewers could tell a game of Minecraft was about to go down. Although not wanting to disappoint the fans who loved every moment of this, he agreed to play. The protagonist, who Tanner referred to as D, really liked the kid. His innocent voice and excitable attitude made him a hit in the chat. After discussing the details of whose world they were going to play in, D opted to check out what Tanner had built. Once spawning into the boy's world, Tanner said, "Come and find me so I can give you a tour of my..." Right there, his voice was interrupted by the sound of shattering glass. Concerned with this seemingly out of nowhere crashing noise in his headset, D asked the boy if he was okay. Tanner quickly went to check what the noise was, and just as quickly came back to the stream to tell D that there was a strange man inside his home and that he had just entered his parents' bedroom. After hearing this, it all started to hit D. This poor kid was going through a traumatic experience of a home invasion right in the middle of his stream. Wanting to make sure that he was safe, D continued speaking back and forth with Tanner. He closed out Minecraft and put his sole focus on communicating with him. With the phone too far out of reach for Tanner to call 911, D asked for his address and told Tanner to hide underneath the bed. The 911 operator told D that it would take at least 30 minutes for them to reach the boy's house because of how far out that he lived. He put the operator on speakerphone and began instructing D to remain hidden from this intruder until the police arrived. Suddenly, he heard a woman screaming in the distance that shocked him to his core. Then Tanner whispered while sobbing, "He's in the living room now. I think he's killing them." More screams soon followed as Tanner raised his voice, "He's killing them!" D did his best to keep the boy composed and quiet, really just fearing for his safety now that he understood just how dangerous this situation had become. The dispatcher then told D that the officer had just arrived and that he was there to help now. For a moment, a brief feeling of relief fell over the Twitch streamer. That is, until he heard the loud popping noise of several gunshots. Tanner was silent now, and then he told D that he could hear the intruder saying, "Damn cops, their heads don't come off like they used to." These words, coming from the innocent voice of a scared child, began to burn into his memory and replay over and over. Their heads don't come off like they used to? Tears filled the Twitch streamer's eyes, knowing that he had been the one to send this poor officer right into harm's way. Again, he reassured Tanner that he would find a way to get him out of this situation, although the dispatcher wasn't exactly doing the same for D. He told her what had just happened, that the officer she had sent was dead, and her response was, "Jesus." Not exactly the type of composed reply that he was hoping for when relaying this traumatic information. Luckily, she had also sent a SWAT team to assist in taking down this intruder, but they too wouldn't be there for another 35 minutes. He asked Tanner if he happened to have any windows in the room that he could possibly escape out of, but to much of his surprise, Tanner's bedroom was in the basement. Of course, making his fate even more daunting than before. And at this point, he couldn't see any other situation of this scenario that ended with Tanner leaving his home alive. Now having to wait another 35 minutes for help to arrive, a killer lurking in the home, and no windows in sight to make his escape, all seemed lost. He feared what the killer would do once finding the boy, and the fact that he and his thousands of viewers would all have to sit and do nothing as they watched an innocent child die. Before he had another opportunity to speak with the dispatcher about what to do next, Tanner came back over the mic. "He's looking for me, D. I can hear him walking around upstairs. He keeps saying that he's going to find and kill whoever is hiding from him." D's heart nearly left his chest. Once he composed himself, he really thought about what Tanner had just told him. D sending the officer into into that home, gun drawn, meant that someone in the house had called the police. Now it was only a matter of time before the killer found his way to Tanner. His steps got louder, so loud that now Dee could actually hear the strange man moving closer to Tanner's location in the home. Again, he did his best to console this poor kid. He said everything is going to be fine, just stay where you are, more help is on the way. Although Tanner knew that this help was not going to reach him in time. He told the Twitch stream that the man was now coming down the hall towards the basement and that his footsteps were getting closer. Now in absolute panic mode, Tanner's voice started to speed up. I have to do something, Dee. I can't stay under my bed. He'll find me too easily. And after hearing some sounds of the mic rustling around and the footsteps getting even louder, he could hear Tanner say what he thought may be his final words. Oh my god, he's at the top of the stairs. Again, there was a sound of more rustling and bustling around as Dee pleaded with Tanner just to hide. Suddenly Dee and his entire live stream went dead silent. A loud noise grazed their eardrums and sort of sounded like a body tumbling to the ground. That final noise made every other scream they had heard that night feel like laughter. It was a deafening silence following this sound of a body collapsing. Dee felt like he had just had his heart ripped out of his chest as he sunk back into his chair. Then out of nowhere, Tanner's voice rang through the chat. I got him, Dee. I tripped him as he came down the stairs, then murked him with his own knife, just like you would have done. Not exactly the way he wished it would have ended, in such a violent and horrific act for a child to commit, but hey, it was over. When Dee turned back to his live stream, the chat was filled with people cheering Tanner on. One word though rang out amongst all others, and that was justice. As proud as he was that Tanner handled the situation, he couldn't help but feel disgusted by the 50,000 plus people who just sat there as all of the events unfolded in front of them. Beyond that, it was the fact that they actually enjoyed watching all of this before their very eyes. This was a teaching moment for Dee. He came to the realization that human beings flock to violence just like junkies in desperate need of a fix. They search for it everywhere, and for many of those sadistic people, they had just hit the jackpot. They just watched violence unfold live over a Twitch stream. He finishes the story by saying, we might not act on our violent impulses, but we revel in them nonetheless. We need the Tanners of the world to suffer, for without them, what else is there to entertain us? Adding, that is why, my friends, the biggest stream of my life scarred me for life, and I will never stream again. And that has been today's solo Twitch creepypastas you've never heard of, titled The Twitch Stream. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, show us some love by tapping that like and subscribe button. Plus, leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on this story. And for more videos like this one, all you gotta do is click that playlist on the screen. From Top 10 Gaming, I'm Johnny Rogers saying until next time, take care.